Hey everyone, so 2019 was an incredible year for Orange Klik. This year we have accomplished a lot of projects, and in this video I wanted to share with you behind the scenes, some wins and some failures. What was happening behind the what you saw Orange Klik was doing. And by the way, before I continue, don't forget to subscribe below to the YouTube channel of Orange Klik and click the notification bell, because here we share a lot of interviews and videos which we do together with Amazon experts, software developers and event organizers. So see you in this behind the scenes of 2019 for Orange Klik. So let's start from the beginning. This year I finally fulfilled my 17-year-old dream to be an event organizer. 17 years ago, I finished computer science and database engineering. It was a master degree in a university in Denmark. And the only thing I wanted to do after the studies was to organize events. Of course, nobody wanted even to look at my CV with a computer science diploma asking to work something in an event making business. So I didn't get any jobs. Obviously, nobody even invited me for job interviews. Well, I forgot the dream. I traveled the world afterwards, and later on I started to do virtual summits for Amazon sellers. This started 3 years ago, and actually I didn't realize at that time, but this was the start of my event organizing dream fulfilling. So this year, Orange Klik managed to organize 4 conferences. I don't know, you can call me crazy, but like, even 1 year ago, if you would have asked me in 2018 December, how many events do you plan to do in the next year, in-person events, I would say probably 1 or 2, and maybe another virtual summit. This is how people know about me, because I did 6 virtual summits in between 2016 and 2018. So I would say that in 2019 I will make like 1 or 2 in-person events, but we ended up creating 4 conferences in 4 different countries. Well, my mindset is borderless, so I don't think in borders. So I like when I can travel and I can show the world for other people who can travel to the conferences Orange Klik organizes. So 4 conferences, they happened in 4 countries: Czech Republic, Israel, Lithuania, my home country, and Amsterdam. The idea of most of conferences were a little bit different. So they were called the European Seller Conference, Seller Fest, and PPC Congress. We had probably around 50 speakers from 17 countries sharing the stage and sharing the knowledge with probably 600 attendees in total. Across all the events, on the stage we saw beautiful ladies. We saw a former magician. He was speaking in Israel. It's Tomer Rabinovich. Actually, you will see him again in Prague in the European Seller Conference 2020. Also, we had a professional stand-up comedian giving some talk. Take a look at this clip.
The profit has gone up by around 2.5x, and the most interesting thing is that the PPC share of those sales is up to 50%. So from 0% to 50%. What does this tell us? Global warming is a myth. No. This tells us that we're at the beginning of a new era in Amazon where advertising is going to make or break your game.
And myself also, I got used to the stage as well, and in the later events I started to share my story. And because I have a dry humor, well, I call it black humor. This is how we call in Lithuania or in other parts of European countries. Literally we call it black humor, but British and North Americans, they corrected me and they say it's called dry humor. So yeah, I have a lot of humor which I want to express in my real life, and this is what you hear if you come to the welcome talks of Orange Klik events. And it's also a lot about networking. So a lot of people created friendships, I hope yesterday, created business relationships, created families. So really hope that this conference helps in all, in all aspects. This conference is also very inspiring. That's how I was inspired to create this presentation today. and I'm inspired to create more of events like this. I hope you're inspired to create more value to the world with selling your cheap Chinese products to the people around the world. So that was an incredible year. So this is the just short overview of different events, in-person events we organized. Besides that, we had an incredible growth of a YouTube channel. So this year with YouTube channel, we started with less than 900 subscribers. After 12 months, we more than doubled the number of subscribers. So now we have over 2,000. And thanks a lot for all the viewers and who liked Orange Klik videos. Also, during this 12 months, I managed to upload more than 100 videos to the channel, which was very productive year. I remember how in the summer I was like crazy recording 40, 50 videos within a couple of weeks. And luckily, later I found a video editor who could help me to produce so many videos. And also, it is amazing that during the seller poll, which was organized by Danny Macmillan from Seller Sessions, YouTube channel of Orange Klik was voted as the winner in the YouTube category. So this is a very nice reward we got, and all this would not have been possible if not the team I have managed to build in the backend. So basically for the last half a year, there is a full-time assistant which is helping to create content, and also there is a video editor who is creating a lot of videos which we are uploading to the YouTube channel. In 2020 we would like to create 8 or 9 in-person events for Amazon sellers. So it is possible that we'll be looking for additional event managers to fulfill this project.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to London Luton, where the local time is 10 minutes.
I love traveling. In the past I traveled a lot in Latin America, Asia and Australia, and this year was an incredible because I could visit 5 new countries. So one of them was Israel, which was because I organized the Seller Fest together with Quantify Ninja, the company in Israel. So it was an opportunity for me to visit a new country which I haven't been. And it was funny that every time when we organize events in different countries, people think that I am from that country. For example, when we did event in Prague, people thought that I'm Czech. When I was going to Israel, I met one of the speakers which were coming to Israel. We never met in person, and then in London we met for the first time before the Israel event, and he was sure that I am from Israel, so he was talking a lot about Israeli history and so on, but I had no idea what he's talking about. So it was funny that people really cannot guess from which country I am. So basically I'm from Lithuania, and the ending of the male's names with AS, Augustas, is very common for this country. Some people think that I'm from Greece, which could be also true, because I think there might be also the name Augustas as well in Greece. So I also had the chance to visit USA this year, and it was a pleasure to visit Jungle Scout's office and meet the legendary Greg Mercer, with whom I communicated for many years in the past, and he was also speaking at some of my virtual events, and we did some other videos, but it was very nice to meet him in person. They showed me their office. I think they had like 40 people working in office in Austin, in Texas, and besides that they had another 80 people in other parts of the world. And actually there was a funny story. When I visited Jungle Scout, I was invited for lunch, and when I arrived there, they already ordered tacos from some restaurant. I saw a lot of tacos on the table, and of course Texas is a tacos land, I guess. So my first question was, because I don't really eat meat, I eat fish and well, most of the time vegetarian food. I asked them, and Greg, do you have anything with vegetables or non-meat tacos? And they were a bit confused, because there were no such tacos. So I ended up not making it difficult for them, and well, I opened up and I ate tacos with meat after 15 years. Actually, it was like 14 maybe years I didn't eat such amount of meat, so I was afraid that I will be sick, but I'm here. I survived. Nothing happened, luckily. Tacos were tasty, actually, and it was a pleasure to chat with Greg and his team for 1 hour. Yeah, it was a great visit to Austin, Texas. So thanks a lot, guys, at Jungle Scout. And in Austin, actually, I was attending a $1 billion Seller Summit organized by Kevin King, which was also a very nice experience to meet different 7- and 8-figure Amazon sellers. Yeah, there was an interesting seller from Australia who is doing 8 figures in his own country, and he's looking to expand to US. It is an amazing entrepreneur collection and business owner gathering. So this was an overview of good things or interesting things which happened, but of course entrepreneurship and running an online business comes also with challenges and failures, and this is what I want to talk in the next part of this video. Basically, as I mentioned earlier, people know me as a virtual summits creator, and I did have a wish to create one more virtual summit in 2019 as well, but well, I didn't manage to continue this tradition, but we will try to make it possible maybe in 2020. Besides that, the biggest challenge I had all the year, basically in the last years, is work and life balance, or life and work balance. So basically being in harmony with my own family, my wife and my child, which is quite difficult because when you have a lot of ideas and want to implement them, and then you have like limited hours during the day, and you want to share your time not only with the work tasks but also with your family. So that's why I really do hope that I will manage to build the team with people I can trust, and I can delegate a lot of the work I do myself to them. At the moment, we do plan to create 8 or 9 events in 2020 for Amazon sellers around the world, but we don't announce any dates. And the reason is that at the moment we are writing the documentation on the process needed to create a high-quality Orange Klik conference. So once this is done, theoretically, I will be able to scale the business much faster than I could do it alone with 2 or 3 people. So that's the intro to the failures. So let's see what mistakes happened during 2019. So one of the funny things which happened recently, it was in a white label expo in London, where I was playing around with a new microphone which we will use for different purposes during the conferences, for recording testimonials and making interviews with people. And we did a Facebook Live, and my assistant was scanning the camera and I was scanning the microphone, which I was happy about. And we were doing Facebook Live for about 12 minutes. And only in the last 40 seconds, I noticed, you can look at this footage where I look at the back of the microphone 2 times, and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't turn on the microphone, and people were speaking to the ear, basically during the whole Facebook Live stream.
Are in a private members club in London, near Tottenham Court Road, so in central London. That's where we run most of the meetups.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Appreciate the opportunity.
See you later.
Ciao.
Let's go back to our booth. And I have bad news for you. Bad news is that I messed up. I just now noticed that this microphone, which looks cool, was off. So whenever you heard people talking, they were talking to my microphone, which might not have picked up very good audio. So it was a funny mistake, and I'm not used to turn on that microphone. I'm used that you take the microphone and it works by itself. So basically, if you are creating content and your microphone has a switch, don't forget to turn it on. And talking about the equipment, so in this year we were trying a lot of things because we decided to record testimonials during our conferences. So it's quite a complex job. To record anything on the video online, it's easy, but when you want to record a video or interview in person, it requires much more equipment. So we were testing different low budget, and we are now scaling up our kind of equipment which we'll be using. And yeah, we tried a lot of things, wireless microphones, phones, different kind of phones, Android phone, iPhone, as well as trying this new microphone, Rode, and a new camera. And so yeah, basically lots of equipment were coming to my house for testing, and thanks to our big brother Amazon, which makes so easy to refund some things which you decide not to use in your business. So since we did 4 conferences, there were several moments where I realized that there was a mistake or failure done. So because Orange Klik's main activity this year was not only a YouTube channel but also organizing events, obviously there were some failures and mistakes on the way. So for example, in one of the conferences, the conference had to start next day at 9 a.m. and 12 hours before that, in the evening of the previous day, we still didn't have the audio video setup made, because the guys were traveling 900 kilometers from another country, which we hired them, and they were traveling a long way to set up everything, and we had no idea if they are coming or not. So we were like thinking of a plan B. What shall we do in case we are not getting our guys coming if they get an accident or something like that? It was a interesting feeling, but at the end everything was set up well. They still came one day before, and before the midnight they managed to set up everything for the next morning. We still had some problems next morning, that's why we had to delay the people to enter the main room. But this kind of probably things you don't even notice, but for us organizers of the events, it is quite stressful. And you know, if you miss this kind of part like audio video during the conference, it can be a big failure, because nobody will be able to present anything, and people who paid a lot of money to come and invested into their trips, they would have to go home. Another not very nice thing which happened in one of the conferences was that 2 sponsors didn't get their banners, so they didn't get them delivered on time. I take full responsibility that it was our organizers, Orange Klik's fault, because we didn't inform our sponsors on the right time about the deadlines, and we didn't send reminders on the right time that please ship your stuff on time. And if you're shipping from overseas, from like North America, like it was happening with one of the sponsors, well, they should consider that there might be some delays at the customs. Yeah, I'm sorry for the sponsors. We sorted out some things afterwards, but I do hope that this will not repeat. Another not very pleasant story for us organizers was during the Sellerfest Lithuania. It was one of the lowest budget events we did in 2019. We were selling tickets for 80 and 100 euros. It was a 2-day event for this price, and this price included VAT for Lithuania and as well as commissions for the ticket sales. So basically there was not much left for us, and we tried to cut the cost everywhere we could. And one of the ideas we had is to find some photographer who would like to use our event to make pictures and to add these pictures as portfolio in their website or Instagram. And we did find several people interested to help for free. And there was one guy who had photography as his hobby for many years. We liked his pictures, and actually we said, okay, yeah, please photograph our event. And then you get what you paid for. This is what everybody says, and this has happened exactly to us. That the guy after the event, he said that he had trouble with his computer. He got virus in all the hard disks, so a lot of data and pictures were deleted, so he could recover only 1 day of our event. So I remember how some of the speakers were really annoyed that when I had to tell them that sorry, there are no pictures from you on the stage in Lithuania, just because we have just pictures of 1 day. Even those pictures which we got were very dark, because making this event in a quite in an old style building, very darkish, so the photographer probably didn't know how to adjust the camera properly for this kind of conditions. Luckily, 1 month later, the photographer came back and he sent, I don't know what he found, but he got the other part of the images. So we finally covered the whole event with his images. We got all the pictures, but to be honest, they were quite bad quality, very dark. So we had to work a lot to select the best ones, and we had to work ourselves on these pictures to produce the proper lighting and add appropriate filters. So this was a lesson learned that we shouldn't cut costs in photographer. So better we invest in photography in the future and have high quality pictures which we can share with the speakers and attendees. There was another project which I had imagined in a different way, but there was no outcome basically. So for the first event, which was European Seller Conference in Prague 2019 in March, I had an idea to create a viral video which would be shared among people organically, and in this way I will be able to promote my event organically. So take a look at this short video which I filmed. It was a big one-day project, I would say, because I needed help from my family to film everything. Take a look at this and I will explain my thinking behind that.
Whenever I get too stressed, I just come here to the beach to find myself again. Do you ever feel that your business could be even more successful than it is right now? If you're an Amazon seller, you need to meet fellow sellers to stay up to date and on top of your game. So I'm actually going to find myself and some other successful entrepreneurs in Prague at the European Seller Conference. Are you coming?
So everyone is dreaming of viral video, and this is what I tried to create. I think the idea was great. Maybe the equipment I had was not very great, so we didn't get a high quality picture and movie. But the idea was that, yeah, something shocking, you know, people are watching when they see someone walking out of the water, they expect it to be wet, but I was dry. Of course, behind the scenes there was a reverse walking. I had to learn how to walk backwards. And at the end, of course, I was wet. When I created this video, I did have a voiceover text written, but I thought it would be funny if this text is spoken by a woman.
Whenever I get too stressed, I just come here to the beach to find myself again.
That's why you heard the woman voice in that video. So I thought it will be another wow moment, or out of the box moment, where not only that person is coming out of the water is dry, but also he was talking a story in a woman voice. So how come that people question that? But well, it was a fun experience. I do hope that I will create other crazy videos like this in the future. It was a nice experience, nice day with my family to film this, and I hope you enjoy it as well. So in the last years I did notice that those who take action, they can achieve something, and probably they can be successful as well if they take action consistently. And when you take action, you do make failures. So all these small mistakes and failures which happened in Orange Klik in 2019, well, they just make us grow and make us do things better next time. Because if you don't take action, it is impossible to do mistakes, and it's impossible to grow and impossible to improve yourself. But talking about this, I do want to say big sorry for Sebastian Castaneda from ZoneRush. In 2019 I did 2 webinars with him, and as you see these short clips, you can probably notice that the video quality on my side was completely unacceptable. So I can't just blame internet connection, but it's a stupid blame. Anyway, it happened. It is how it is. Sorry again, Sebastian, and I hope we'll record more videos in the future. Actually, I met him in Austin as well this year in USA. We had several hour conversation about different things, spirituality, business. It was nice to hear his story. He is quite young and he has achieved and has a lot of experience along the way. So it was nice to meet you, Sebastian, and see you in the next videos as well. So I talked about overview about wins and failures. Now I wanted to bring some interesting facts from 2019. So as every year, every single year, I like to amaze small children with this kind of trick. Well, sorry, this trick has nothing to do with Orange Klik, unless you bring children to Orange Klik conferences. So, talking about interesting facts, there was one video on the YouTube channel this year which got more thumbs down than thumbs ups. Why do you think it happened? Well, let's make it more interesting. Try to find that video in the YouTube channel and comment below this 2019 overview in the comments. Write the link or the name of that video and tell me if you find it. So basically, why did it get more thumbs down? It was because I tricked the viewers a little bit. How I tricked, you can also see in that video when you find it. And let's make a prize. If you find it, for the first person who finds it, I will grant access to recordings of all 6 virtual summits made from 2016 to 2018 and 3 recordings of 3 in-person conferences organized in 2019. That would be European Seller Conference 2019, it would be Seller Fest Lithuania presentations and PPC Congress, the first ever PPC Congress, all the recordings. So it's more than $1,000 value, all these recordings. So you're welcome to search for that video and be the first to comment below this video to find why it was getting so many thumbs downs. Working on the Seller Fest Israel was a very challenging project, mainly because I had to learn a lot about that country's culture, because there are a lot of course, religious people, maybe 1/5 of the population. During the organization of the event, we had to really consider them and think about the details related to their religion. So one of the details was the food which we bring to the venue should be kosher so that they can eat without any hesitation. So the interesting part was that I thought that kosher is one thing, but actually I found out that there are 2 types of kosher food. So if you bring one type of kosher food to certain people, they will not eat because they are looking for other kind of kosher food. So it was very challenging to adjust these kind of needs of attendees, but I think we managed. At the beginning of this video I mentioned that we had a former magician talking at the conference in Israel, and magic was my passion since I was small. I was not interested in showing the magic, but I was interested in techniques, how it is done. However, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, when I was traveling the world, I did show magic tricks to different people and children we met on the road. But I'm not a good showman. Anyway, during the Seller Fest Lithuania, I decided to show a simple magic trick in front of the people. You can take a look at the footage. And today is the conference where I do this special trick for you. You have seen it performed very professionally in every magician does this probably. So this is how I was showing to the kids. I put it in my mouth because, I had assistant. He was the assistant actually. And then I said, okay, now I cut the knot. The scissors are not going around, and it was all together. So during the events, it became a tradition that I do 2 presentations. One on day 1, it's a welcome speech where I give some practical information and some background about the Orange Klik company and the events. And the second day, it's usually an improvised presentation which I prepare just few hours before, literally one night before the day comes. And in one of the events I was talking about mistakes we do, and I was talking about mistakes I and other people did during the conference. So you can have as a fun, take a look at this short clip. The mistake I did is that I didn't inform Brent to use left leg on the other, so it doesn't look good, for the live stream. Some people were complaining in the comments. I'm really sorry. What is Brent? Oh, he came. Okay. You have to be observing other panelists as well. So I would like to end video with showing appreciation and saying big thanks to a lot of people. First of all, I would like to say thanks to my family, my son and my wife, who are supporting me along the way. And I'm sorry when I don't find a proper work-work balance. I do hope I will improve. Big thanks to my assistant Eva, who is doing a great job, and also to videographer and to other people which will be coming on board in 2020. Big thanks to all the speakers who were attending Orange Klik events, speaking on the stage. They were traveling from, well, as I said before, 17 countries, and sharing their knowledge with people from 40 different countries. Thanks a lot for them making it possible. I'm getting a lot of applications to speak at Orange Klik events, and I do hope that these speakers will have possibility to give 1 or 2 presentations in the future events of Orange Klik. Big shout out to Danny Macmillan, who is supporting Orange Klik's work, and thanks again, Danny, for organizing Seller Poll 2019. I hope this will be a successful project in the years to come, and people will keep it as an important event every year. Also, I would like to express gratitude to Kevin King, who traveled to speak in 2 Orange Klik events in Prague and Israel, and he was giving 2 workshops in those 2 countries, where we had probably 100 people listening and learning from his tips. Also, a big shout out to Alex Chernenko. He did speak at one of my events, it was in Sellerfest Lithuania, but also he was moderating 2 events, European Seller Conference and PPC Congress. He's a great moderator, he's an Amazon seller and a great entrepreneur running multiple businesses at the same time. Everybody loved his emceeing or moderation of the events. Also, all the attendees who purchased tickets and supported Orange Klik projects and saw the value in the events, and those who came back to the following events, thanks a lot, and I hope to see some of you again in the events in 2020. Also, thanks to all the viewers of YouTube channel. By the way, don't forget to subscribe if you're watching this, and click the notification bell as well. Subscribe to the channel, because here we will be putting more videos with different Amazon industry experts and leaders and software developers for Amazon sellers. Also with event organizers who are creating events across the world for Amazon community. So big thanks to, as I said, to you, to the viewers. Thanks for supporting this channel. If you're watching on this video on other social media, also thanks a lot for following us. Yeah, and I guess that's it. And for what are the plans for 2020? Well, here at Orange Klik, as I mentioned, we want to create 8 or 9 in-person conferences. That could be in probably 7 countries. It could be Mexico, Spain, Romania, Lithuania, Israel. A lot of ideas coming up, and we hope it will come true. At the moment, as I said, we are documenting the processes that Orange Klik is doing during the event implementation. And I do hope that we will manage to create one more virtual summit in 2020, which would bring a lot of valuable information to the Amazon seller community around the world. So thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe to YouTube channel or wherever you are watching this video. And if you have any questions, please contact us through orangeklik.com website. And let us know in the comments what you think about this overview of 2019 and this journey of Orange Klik. Bye-bye.